True dislike between NBA players is almost extinct today. Almost. Fortunately, for lovers of the old school and fans of genuine heated competition, there are still tiny pockets of real hatred on the hardwood. Considering so few of our current NBA stars spent so much time on a college campus, it's a little odd that the feeling of fraternity among the league's players is so strong. For the most part, these guys all get along, and any perceived animosity after a hard foul or an in-your-face dunk is really just posturing. After the game or even the play is over, combatants who are apparently on the edge of violent moments before are slapping high fives and making dinner plans. Ill will between NBA players seems to have decreased in direct proportion to the ever-expanding network of high-profile AAU programs. By the time these guys face each other in the big show, they've already knocked heads, and probably played some Xbox throughout their high school years. Things were different back in the day. Michael Jordan and John Starks didn't stand each other. The Boston Celtics and Los Angeles Lakers used to regularly come to blows, and everyone wanted to strangle Reggie Miller. But now, the bro hugs and elaborate fist-pound routines have become so prevalent that the NBA actually instituted a rule this year to trim the ritualistic pre-game exchange of pleasantries to 90 seconds. Sure, it's probably better for the millions of young viewers of NBA basketball if the players they idolize aren't trying to decapitate each other, but that's not what we want to focus on here. You can check your courtesy and politeness at the door for this list of NBA players who really, truly hate each other. Zach Randolph is good with his hands, man. Just ask him. Or, you could ask former teammate Ruben Patterson, whom Randolph famously punched in practice. Or to be especially thorough, you could ask the 40 or so individuals with whom Randolph claims to have fought growing up. The point here is, Randolph is a tough dude. In the NBA's most recently revived feud, Randolph and Oklahoma City Thunder center Kendrick Perkins exchanged a few harsh words on the court during a November 14th game in Oklahoma City. Both were summarily tossed from the contest. Because of the ensuing post-game altercation, which involved Randolph seeking to continue and Perkins' discussion in a more physical manner, the league hit Zebo with a $25,000 fine. Perkins has a reputation as an enforcer, but Randolph was a little sick of all the huffing and puffing Perkins typically does on the court. When asked about the incident, Randolph stated, "There's a lot of bluffing going on the court, that's all, and I don't bluff." This wasn't an isolated case either. The barking between these two goes back a little while. LeBron James and Mario Chalmers. LeBron has left somewhat of a bad taste in the mouth of other players due to his massive ego and pride. Many people in the Cleveland Cavs organization are still upset with him over his leaving to join the Heat back in 2010. Although he finally brought a title to Cleveland, and that eased many of those feelings, but there's someone else who has an issue with LeBron James, and it's his former point guard Mario Chalmers. Chalmers still has some issues with LeBron after their time together in Miami. James paints it as him taking Chalmers under his wing, but the reality of the situation is actually much different. Apparently LeBron and Chalmers would argue a lot, and at the time Chalmers felt like he was being held back by LeBron, so he would snap at LeBron about getting the ball more on offense. LeBron would often respond by talking down to Chalmers, and this caused a lot of tension between the two, but they managed to work together to win 2 titles, but the issues remained and many claimed it was a key factor in James moving back to Cleveland. And whether or not this was the case is unknown, but there was definitely some hard feelings from time to time between the two. Charles Barkley and Scottie Pippen. This should be no surprise as Barkley had a huge ego. Even before entering NBA, and it only got bigger as his career went on. Pippen was just typically a humble guy, but he had just come off winning 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls, so his ego was riding high. Barkley had to give up part of his own salary to make room for the Rockets to sign Pippen, and from the start it was clear Pippen had expected to be the leader of the team, and this caused problems with Barkley right away. Pippen and Barkley would clash in team meetings and in the locker room, and Pippen getting arrested for DUI didn't help matters either because it hurt the team's entire image. The lack of chemistry hurt the team as well, and what should have been a championship contender turned into a cesspool of toxicity. Pippen demanded a trade at the end of the season with hopes to rejoin Phil Jackson with the Lakers, and Barkley wanted him gone after just 1 year. Pippen ended up with Portland, and to this day, he and Barkley still clash over TV and social media, showing that the bad blood still exists. Kyrie Irving and Dion Waiters. During their time together, Kyrie Irving and Dion Waiters, who claimed that they were the NBA's best backcourt, but despite those claims, Irving and Waiters weren't the best of friends. Irving had been the #1 pick for the Cavs and expected to lead them into a championship era, but Waiters thought he was a better player, and their conflict soon became obvious in their play. Waiters accused Irving of playing buddy ball with Tristan Thompson and even calling him out on a locker room meeting. The conflict would only build more and more, and eventually the Cavs locker room had become too toxic. The coaching staff would do their best to try and resolve the issues, and the Cavs hoped that the reaction of LeBron James would help soothe the tensions, but in the end, the rivalry between the two couldn't be settled, and Waiters would be traded to OKC, where he would miss out on a Cavs title. That's all we have on today's topic of NBA players who hated each other. We hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe for more NBA content, and we'll see you next time.